Hey guys, it's Hope Love here, and we are back. I'm going to finish this chapter up in maybe multiple parts, maybe not. And of course, viewer discretion is advised. This is Boob, Tubes, and Crushes, chapter 5.2. Now it's kind of making sense, but anyway, with the 5 point. Anyway, guys, if you don't exactly like this ship, I honestly could care less because it's in the fanfic and I'm just reading it. And don't go trolling if you hate the ship, okay? Within another shipping thing, it's what Kate, Alex, 2 T's, 2 X's wrote, and don't go over there trolling her on whatever website you find. Okay? She's the one who wrote it, and she decided to put it in. So you have to respect that. Now, let's get into it, my lovelies. The walk down to the greenhouse was fairly quiet, but it was less tense than it was before. When they finally arrived, Baisley led way over to his boom tubes. So, the leaves are starting to turn brown and fall. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I was under the impression that they should be green and attached to the plant, Lacey said, putting his hand on his hip and titling to the side. All the way, glowering down at the point, Neville had a tear in his eye. Aw. Well, yes, you are correct. Neville started running through the leaves with his fingers, if only to distract himself from the way Blazy was standing next to him. After a few moments, Neville finally spoke up. How often have you been watering it? Watering it? Blazy asked. Neville looked at him anxiously. You have been watering it. Professor Sprout said not to water it. She said not to pour water directly onto the plant. Not to just not water it, Neville said, finally glancing over at Paisley. Only Lacey. I don't know how to say his name, so don't get offended. Lacey, only to laugh at the annoyed face Lacey was making. I think I'm starting to notice a trend here. Neville smirked at Lacey, who consciously looked more annoyed with each word. You just don't listen. Oh, come on. Why would I listen if there's so much more interesting things to pay attention to? Like teasing Malfoy, Neville said, with knowing smile at Paisley, who suddenly looked slightly worried. Don't worry, I won't say anything. But you guys aren't exactly the most quiet. Well, I guess the secret's out, Weasley said with a dramatic sigh. It's really fine. I won't tell Harry. And anyway, Malfoy might have a chance now that I'm thinking about it, Neville said thoughtfully as he walked to the watering can. What do you mean? Blacy finally perking up and following the other board. Well, the only thing that Harry has been continuously obsessed with since first year has been Malfoy, and judging from what I've heard from you all, Malfoy seems to be in the same boat. Neville walked back over to the pot, Blacy trailing behind him, and started watering the tube. Harry spent his whole 6th year following Malfoy around school. Oh! Exposed. I suppose you're right, Blacy said, watching Neville continuing to water the plant. I think Harry likes Malfoy, even if he actually hasn't admitted it to himself yet. Neville sat down, watering can down. Anyway, that should help your plan. Make sure to water it at least once a week, and it should be fine. I don't think you've really done anything else wrong. Thanks for your help, Blacy laughed. Suddenly growing nervous, he realized He didn't exactly know what to say next. Well, I better go. I have some homework to finish still, Neville said. And Blacy couldn't help feeling a little disappointed. All right, I won't keep you. Thanks for asking for your help. All right, I won't help. Thanks for your help. Neville smiled back and headed out the door. Okay, I am going back to the next one, I think. I'm just gonna go to the next chapter. So, Quidditch and punishments. Oh, okay. Chapter 6. Harry and Draco were currently sitting in the shared room, each one on their own bed. Draco had suggested reading since they were to be stuck together for 2 hours. Harry didn't particularly like reading, but agreed since Draco did. And Harry was bored, like he knew he would be, and currently trying to get Draco's attention from across the room. Ooh, he caught himself doing this more and more in the last few days. Oh, during their time together, Harry had been wanting to actually get to know him more. Ooh, it's about to happen. So now, here he was, a week into their punishment, sitting across the room, watching Draco read. Oh, the shit's about to go down. What's the highest thing on your bucket list? Harry finally asked, after an hour of silence. Draco looked up from his book and stared blankly across the room at Harry. What the hell is a bucket list? It's like a list of things you want to do before you die. Draco shot him an annoyed look. And why would I tell you that? Tell you? Now, if you don't mind, I quite like the science. Well, excuse me for trying to conversate. For trying to make conversation. Oh, silence. How can you still not be bored with that book? You've been reading it for over an hour, Harry groaned, plopped onto the bed. Yeah, super dramatically. How can you still bored with staring at me? You've been doing that for over an hour too. Shots fired. Harry felt his face heat up as he realized that Draco had in fact noticed he'd been staring at him. I'm bored, Harry shouted, hoping to cover up his embarrassment. Great for you, but I'm not, so figure it out while I read, Draco said back as he turned back to his book. Harry groaned, rolling his eye over and spotting his pillow. Great idea. Before he could second guess himself, he picked up the pillow and launching the pillow at Draco's head. Oh my god, they're gonna have a pillow fight. Hey Draco, yelled, sitting down his book to glare at Harry. Harry smirked over at him until he noticed that Draco's hair was sticking up, and then he was about to burst out laughing. Draco launched the pillow back, hitting Harry straight in the head, sending him falling off the bed. Oh, you asked for it, Harry yelled, standing up and grabbing another pillow off his bed. Actually, I think I'm going to keep going until it hits 10 minutes. When it hits 10 minutes, I'm going to be done. Hermione was done reading in the common room when she heard a loud thud, a bunch of yelling, which could only mean the one thing. Harry and Malfoy were at it again. What could it be now, she thought, with a sigh as she headed up the stairs. She'd hoped anything that was going on, she didn't need a teacher to deal with it for all their sakes. When she reached upstairs, she found two boys tumbling over each other, a mess of blankets that seemed to be Harry's bed sheets. The sight of Harry and Draco smiling and a mess around brought a smile to her face. She burst out laughing. How odd the sight was. The boys stopped yelling and trying to untangle themselves from each other when they heard laughing. Then, turning to stare at Hermione, who had dissolved her fit of laughter at the door, they suddenly realized just how close they were to each other and quickly disentangled themselves and rushed to get as far away from each other as possible as their face rapidly conquered. And he was like, hey, Miney. Oh, I guess it is. Well, there's only 4 more minutes, so it's not going to be too bad. Harry awkwardly said, Were we being too loud? Sorry about that. Oh, it's quite all right, Hermione said as she managed to pull herself together and wipe her eyes. I was just worried that you two were fighting again, but I'm glad to be wrong. Anyway, she's glad to be wrong. Wow, that's a first. Anyway, how much more time do you two have? About 45 minutes, Harry replied, picking up his sheets in the floor and putting them back on his head. Are there rules that you have to be alone with him, or can Ron and I join you two? I know Ron was hoping to discuss the Quidditch team with you. No, I don't think so. Harry stared at Draco, cut across. Well, there's no rule against it. This room is mine too, and I don't want to be stuck with only you. Not only you. Draco started to point at Harry, but Granger and Weasley too? Stop calling him that, Harry said, turning glad to Draco. And we're back, like back to reality, Hermione thought, giving a slight sigh as she realized that it was too much to hope for. They might mellow out a bit. I'll call them whatever I want, Draco started back, starting to walk over to Harry. Stop, both of you, Hermione said, putting her hand to stop Harry, who was mimicking to Draco. The whole purpose of you two hanging out is for you to stop fighting. Like I'll ever get along with him, Draco scoffed. Walking back to his bed and pick up his book and return to his bookshelf. You two could actually try to be civil, Hermione sighed. Even with everything that they had all been through, Hermione had realized that they had gotten along with before the war. Merely just a bunch of kids caught up in a war, after a war, and Draco's trials. Draco had mellowed out. Hermione saw this. The only person he still showed any of his old fire with was Harry. I will when he wants to act like a normal person for once, Harry glared back at Draco. Oh, whatever, Draco. Do you mind if we come up here for a bit? We wanted to discuss the Quidditch teams for 8th years. You might actually be interested. Draco stiffed in the use of the first name, but let it go. Granger wasn't that bad, and he knew she was only trying to be friendly. Fine, I suppose it'd be better than Potter staring at me for another half an hour. Yeah, this is going way over. Half an hour. Harry shot Draco a look. Hermione couldn't help a faint smirk across her face. If both Draco and Hermione were denser than a rock, she was certain. She certainly wasn't. Great. I'll go get Ron. With that, Hermione was bounding up the door to get Ron, who was still in the common room. Okay. So, I think I'm going to... You know what? I'm going to read the rest of this chapter, and then we're going to be done. Okay. Bounding up the room, dun dun dun. When Ron walked through the door, he couldn't help but groan that he escaped him at the sight of Draco. Forgot he was still here, Ron muttered as he walked over to Harry's bed and sat. Draco decided to ignore the comment. So, I've been talking to people for you guys because I imagine you haven't talked to anyone yet to see if they're interested. Ron and Harry flashed their sheepish grins. Of course Granger did all the work, Draco thought, rolling his eyes as he listened to the conversation from his bed. Anyway, there is interest, but not enough for 2 teams. I was just thinking, instead of making 8th year teams, that just have games against each other. What if we make 1 team? So, you can have a practice against other house teams. 8th years against other... I don't know. That doesn't seem fair. It seems like a bunch of, scrawny first years getting, killed by 8th years. I'm sorry. That does not feel fair. Yeah, that would make a lot of more sense, actually, Harry said, leaning back against his bed frame and looking over at Draco, who was lying on his back with his legs hanging over the side. Harry shook his head, telling himself that he needs to stop staring at Draco. Yep, You need to stop staring at Draco. That definitely makes a lot more sense. Do you think McGonagall would say yes? Ron said. I don't see why not. I mean, it's a fun thing to have 8th year to do, and for the 8th years to do, and it would give the house teams more practice, Hermione said. Who's interested? You said you talked to some people, Harry said, trying not to focus on the way Draco looked when he laid like that. Well, there's you 3, of course, Dean, and surprisingly Pansy. Wait, Pansy's interested? Draco said, sitting up and giving Hermione a dumbfounded look. Well, she's interested. Yeah, but she said she would refuse to play any position other than Beta. Something about her hitting a bludger around at people sounded fun. That is kind of funny. That sounds so like Pansy, Hermione replied, laughing slightly. Oh yeah, that sounds like Pansy, Draco flopped on the bed with a smile. Is that all? Harry asked. Well, that's pretty much all I talked to. I'm sure there's more. Goyle played as Beater last year, remember? So I imagine he might still be interested. Alright, we could hold tryouts on Wednesday this week. I think that the 9th, Harry said. What do you think, Ron? That sounds good to me. Gives us enough time to tell everyone, and we can tell the rest of the Slytherins, Ron said, gesturing at Draco, barely hitting disgust and spiting Slytherins like it was a curse word. Pitting Slytherins like it was a curse word. Draco scoffed at Ron and moved to get up. Well, that concludes torture for the day. I'm leaving, and with that, Draco walked out swiftly without a second glance at the Gryffindors. Okay, I'm done. I hope you enjoyed. This is Hope Love signing off, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!